The moment she laughed at him in front of everyone, something inside him quietly broke. And yet that same moment would become the beginning of a truth so powerful that it would shatter her world. No one noticed the single father standing near the marble pillars of the billionaire's glass tower, his worn jacket slightly frayed at the sleeves, his eyes tired but steady. No one noticed because people like him were trained to be invisible in places like this, except her. And she noticed him only to mock him day after day, never imagining that fate was patiently preparing a moment that would leave her stunned, breathless, and changed forever. Before the story truly unfolds, take a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of the human heart, please like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. He was a single dad named Daniel Carter, a man who carried responsibility the way others carried briefcases. Every morning before sunrise, he braided his daughter's hair with clumsy fingers, packed her lunch with handwritten notes folded between sandwiches, and walked her to school before heading to work. His job was modest, unglamorous, and invisible to most people. He handled maintenance and logistics in the lower floors of a corporate empire owned by one of the richest women in the city. To Daniel, the job was not a stepping stone or a temporary fix. It was survival. After his wife passed away suddenly from an illness that arrived without warning, life narrowed into a single mission: protect his daughter, give her stability, and teach her kindness even when the world offered none in return. The building he worked in was cold and beautiful, all steel and glass, designed to make people feel small. And at the top of it all sat Evelyn Ross, a self-made billionaire known for her sharp mind, sharper tongue, and a reputation that frightened executives twice her age. She had grown up poor, clawed her way up through betrayal and loss, and somewhere along that climb, she learned to armor her heart with arrogance. To Evelyn, weakness was a flaw to be eliminated, and sentimentality was a luxury she could not afford. When she first noticed Daniel, it was not because of his work ethic or quiet dignity. It was because he dared to occupy space she believed belonged only to winners. She mocked him in subtle ways at first. Comments tossed carelessly during meetings she passed through, sarcastic remarks about the way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he seemed perpetually tired. Others laughed nervously, unsure whether to join in or stay silent. Daniel heard every word, but he never responded. He lowered his eyes, finished his work, and went home to his daughter, reminding himself that pride did not put food on the table. Each insult was swallowed, each humiliation folded away like an unpaid bill. He told himself it didn't matter, that her words were nothing compared to the smile on his daughter's face when he came home. What Evelyn never saw was the man behind the worn jacket. She never saw him studying late at night after his daughter fell asleep, trying to finish the degree he had abandoned years ago. She never saw the way he volunteered at his daughter's school, or how teachers whispered about his patience and intelligence. She never saw the respect he earned in quiet spaces where money held no power. To her, Daniel was a symbol of everything she had escaped: poverty, struggle, vulnerability, and she treated him accordingly, as if mocking him could somehow erase the memory of her own past. The days blurred into weeks, and the mockery continued, almost ritualistic. Yet something strange began to happen beneath the surface. Daniel's silence did not look like defeat. It looked like strength. His calm unsettled Evelyn in ways she could not explain. She had built her empire on dominance, on watching people crumble under pressure. But he never did. No matter how sharp her comments, no matter how public the humiliation, he remained steady. It was as if he possessed a kind of wealth she could not touch. The turning point arrived on a day that began like any other. The building buzzed with anticipation as investors flooded the lobby for a major announcement. Evelyn descended the grand staircase, flawless and commanding, when she spotted Daniel kneeling near the entrance, helping his daughter tie her shoelace before school. The sight stopped her mid-step. There was something disarming about the way he smiled at the child, something gentle and real that clashed violently with the cold world she ruled. People stared, whispers spread, and for reasons even she did not fully understand, Evelyn felt exposed, as if her carefully constructed persona had cracked. What happened next shocked everyone, including Daniel. In a moment that felt both impulsive and inevitable, Evelyn crossed the distance between them and kissed him, right there in the lobby, in front of executives, staff, and strangers who would talk about it for weeks. The world seemed to freeze. The mockery, the hierarchy, the power imbalance all collapsed into that single electric moment. For Daniel, it felt unreal, like stepping into someone else's life. For Evelyn, it felt like standing at the edge of a cliff and choosing to jump. The aftermath was chaos. Rumors explode. Dead. Media circled, and the narrative twisted into something neither of them recognized. Some said it was a publicity stunt. Others claimed Daniel was a gold digger who had somehow manipulated his way into her favor. Evelyn expected Daniel to cling to the attention, to leverage it for advantage. Instead, he did the unthinkable. He asked to be left alone. He returned to his work, his routines unchanged, his focus still on his daughter. That quiet refusal forced Evelyn to confront something she had avoided her entire life, the possibility that not everyone wanted something from her. For the first time, Evelyn felt unsure. The kiss had not been a calculated move, it had been a crack in her armor, a moment of truth she could not undo. She began to notice things she had ignored before, the exhaustion in Daniel's eyes, the way he flinched slightly when people laughed too loudly, the resilience it took to stand tall while being treated as less than human. Guilt crept in, unfamiliar and unwelcome. She started to question the person she had become, the cost of the empire she had built, and the loneliness that echoed through her penthouse at night. Daniel, meanwhile, struggled with his own storm. He did not ask for attention, nor did he want it. The kiss had pulled him into a world of judgment and assumptions that threatened the stability he had worked so hard to maintain. His daughter noticed the change, the whispers at school, the stares from strangers. Protecting her meant setting boundaries, even when his heart was confused. Yet, despite everything, he could not deny that the moment had shifted something inside him, too. Not desire, not ambition, but the realization that even the most powerful people carried invisible wounds. Slowly, without grand gestures or dramatic declarations, things began to change. Evelyn started listening instead of commanding. She implemented programs for employees she had once overlooked, not as charity, but as recognition. She sought Daniel out, not to apologize with words, but with actions. She learned about his life, his struggles, his dreams deferred and reshaped by responsibility. In his presence, she felt something she had not felt in years: peace. And in her effort to become better, Daniel saw a woman unlearning cruelty, one step at a time. The city eventually moved on, as it always does. New scandals replaced old ones. But in the quiet spaces between headlines, two lives continued to intersect in meaningful ways. The billionaire who once mocked a single dad learned humility. The single dad who endured humiliation discovered that dignity could change hearts. Their connection was not a fairy tale or a rescue story. It was a testament to growth, accountability, and the power of seeing someone fully. As the story nears its end, if this journey has touched your heart, if you felt the weight of those moments and the hope that followed, please take a second to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps keep SA stories alive and reaching those who need them most. And before the ending, leave a comment sharing what this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you know. In the end, the kiss was never about romance. It was about awakening. It was about a woman forced to confront the emptiness behind her success, and a man reminded that his quiet strength had value beyond survival. It was about a world that teaches us to mock what we fear, and a reminder that compassion can arrive in the most unexpected ways. And long after the laughter faded and the rumors died, what remained was something far more powerful than wealth or status. A shared humanity, finally seen, finally honored, and finally allowed to heal.